I just settled into my new suburban haven, a modest house with a tidy backyard and a sturdy wooden fence that promised peace after a decade slogging through city zoning wars. I'd seen urban sprawl choke entire counties, so this quiet corner, with its clean survey lines and satellite-perfect coordinates, felt like a hard-earned escape. My name's Ethan, and all I wanted was to sip coffee on my porch without sirens or chaos. But trouble, it seems, has a way of finding you. 3 days in, as I unpacked tools in the garage, I heard the sharp clack of heels on concrete. No knock, just a woman standing there, arms crossed like she was my new boss. "You're new," she said, her blonde bob gleaming, her voice dripping with HOA president energy. "I'm Lisa." "Of course you are," I thought. "Ethan," I replied, wiping grease off my hands. "Moved in last week." Her eyes didn't waver. "Right. About your fancy, it's about 2 feet onto my property." I froze. I checked the plat myself. "It's dead on the line," I said, keeping my tone even. Lisa's smile was the kind you give before dropping a bomb. "Lines shift. Soil settles. My landscaper confirmed it years ago." I raised an eyebrow. "Your landscaper's got a GPS satellite." Her smile vanished. "I'll take it to the HOA," she snapped. "I'm not in the HOA," I said coolly. "That's why I bought this place." Her stare could have melted steel. "We'll see," she muttered, spinning on her heel. I figured that was the end of it. I was wrong. 2 days later, an inspector showed up, a kid barely out of college, badge swinging like it made him somebody. "Got a complaint about your fence," he said. I showed him my survey. He shrugged. "I move it 3 feet, just to be safe. Keeps the peace." I leaned in. "So, I should give up my land because Lisa doesn't like my fence?" He squirmed. "Just a suggestion." I smiled. "I'll think about it." I wasn't MOVYing a damn thing. At least, that's what I thought. Lisa wasn't just a neighbor. She was a predator in pastels. Every time I stepped outside, her eyes tracked me, phone clutched like a weapon. I caught her snapping photos one morning, half hidden behind a bush with a zoom lens that screamed no chill. Then came the HOA flyer in my mailbox despite me not being a member. "Boundary disputes harm our community," it preached. Subtext: Ethan's fence is a crime. I had work, a life, no time for this nonsense. So I caved. Not because she was right, she wasn't, but because I didn't move here for war. One Friday, I grabbed a tape measure, marked 3 feet inward, and tore down part of my fence. By Saturday, it was rebuilt, 3 feet of my land surrendered. I told myself it was a truce. Tuesday shattered that illusion. Lisa had claimed my gifted strip like a conqueror. A wrought iron bench sat smugly against my new fence, surrounded by fresh mulch, perennials, and a solar lamp blinking like it owned the place. That evening, I stepped outside to find her lounging on it, sipping wine with 2 friends, one while VYing at me like I was the hired help. "Thank for the garden space, neighbor," Lisa called, her voice syrupy. I stared. "That's still my land." She tilted her head. "Then why'd you move the fence?" Her friends cackled. It wasn't just petty, it was a calculated flex. My concession was now her trophy, and she had an audience cheering her on. I don't obsess over small people, but Lisa burrowed into my brain, right next to taxis and traffic jams. That bench, squatting on my property, twisted something in minute anger, but precision. I dove into the records. Subby VY, Shown plats, GIS overlays, historical parcel maps me, Lee VYing room became a war room. Papers everywhere, a topographic map pinned to the wall. Then I found it, a 1992 replotting error. Lisa's lot had swallowed 12 feet of my parcel, land that belonged to my property since the 1960s. She wasn't just stealing my 3 feet. She'd been squatting on 11 fan tram of my lot for decades. I called in a top-tier surveying crew, drones, GNSS receivers, the works. They scanned every inch, and the results matched my findings to the millimeter. I sat on that bombshell, letting it simmer. I could have stormed over and shoved the truth in her face, but that's not me. I hired a land dispute attorney, a shark who confirmed my case was airtight. "Quiet title action," she said, grinning. "We'll file for boundary correction. If she fights, it's court. If not, she loses the land." I nodded. Let Lisa enjoy her bench a little longer. On a crisp Thursday, a crew rolled up with cedar panels and an auger that meant business. Lisa was out pruning a perfectly fine bush, sun hat and all, when she noticed them measuring her side of the yard. Her pruners froze. I stepped out. "Morning," I called to the crew. "Boundary correction?" The leader nodded. "Lot 78, expansion area." Lisa's voice cracked. "What is this?" I turned to her, calm as stone. "This is my land. Always was. Just fixing the paperwork." She sputtered. "You can't build through my yard." I held up my documents counting notices, surveys, deeds, all notarized. "Feel free to read, but you won't like the ending." She called the cops. The officer, bored and pushing 50, skimmed my papers, called it in, and shrugged. "It's his land. Fence it." By dusk, a 6-foot cedar wall sliced through her garden, bench stranded on my side like a forgotten monument. A metal plaque gleamed on the fence. "Private property, no trespassing." Lisa stared, then vanished inside. I cracked a beer on my porch, the sunset painting my new fence gold. It was beautiful, but Lisa wasn't done. The neighborhood turned cold glares from strangers, trash cans tipped, dog crap on my driveway. Anonymous notes in all caps screamed, "You stole from us." Then my attorney called. "Lisa tried to bribe a county surveyor," she said, sending me the audio. Lisa's voice, clear and shameless, offered a consulting gig to fudge the lines. The surveyor recorded it, reported it, and the county ethics board pounced. Lisa didn't know I knew. She kept swinging fake complaints to my job, a petition calling my fence a hazard with forged signatures, including 2 dead people. But the law was closing in. Court day was electric. The room felt heavy, like justice was a physical weight. Lisa walked in, hair stiff, heels clicking like gunfire, her lawyer trailing like a beaten dog. My attorney laid it out. 1,992 error, survey data, bribery audio, vandalism photos, forged petitions. Lisa's voice on the tape, offering wine and deals, echoed like a confession. She snapped, yelling witch hunt. The judge shut her down. "Ms. Harper," silence, or it's contempt. My attorney's closing was a blade. "This isn't about offense. It's about abusing power to bully a man who stood his ground." The gavel fell. I won, boundary upheld, due law $50,000 in damages, restraining order. Lisa sat frozen, unplugged. By Monday, her name was plastered online. HOA president caught in bribery scandal. The HOA ousted her, the IRS sniffed her shady funds, and her yard withered. Neighbors apologized, shamefaced. Lisa hid behind curtains, a ghost in her own house. Spring brought warmth, and I turned that 12-foot strip into a masterpiece of limestone-rimmed flower beds, tulips, lavender, Japanese maple, and a subtle plaque. A neighbor's gift, returned by fate. Neighbors loved it. A photo of my fence hit Reddit, captioned, "She tried to steal 3 feet, lost 12, 50 grand, and her dignity." It went viral, memes, mugs, laughter. I hosted a barbecue, kids running, music blaring, the neighborhood alive. Lisa's fence loomed, but her shadow was gone. One morning, a note appeared in my mailbox. "You're enjoying this. Be ashamed." I shredded it, smiling. My flowers bloomed, catching the sunrise, speaking for me. So what do you think? Was I too harsh, turning her defeat into a garden? Should I have let it go after the first concession? Was Lisa a VY lane, or just a desperate neighbor pushed too far? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button, and subscribe for more stories where justice grows like tulips. Let's hear it. Whose side are you on?